So the title of my lecture is really Screen-Brain Balance and getting your best potential in your curriculum, in your choices, in your career, so that your best potential will come up and you will have a good earning capacity as you go on. If not, the way your brain wires is how you will perform later. So how many of you are O-level and under? Grade 11 and under. A-levels? Okay. Any Nakias beyond A-level? Oh yeah, just to get a, yeah. So, can we have the first slide? These are the three main problems of three main issues involved in being on too much of the screen. The screen is made out of pixels. So every pixel screen has a pixel strength, isn't it? PPI, pixels per inch. Have you heard that before? PPI, pixels per inch. So mine is a Samsung 23 Edge because I have problems with the Apple because it put people into trouble at the beginning and now. Which Apple am I speaking about? Which Apple am I speaking about? It was a terrible bite, isn't it? B-Y-T-E. First Apple's bite put all the humans into big time trouble. Not heard that story? Or was it a mango? She ate and gave it to him. Anyway, I'm a Samsung user, but this is about, PPI is about 800 PPI. There are screens where the pixels per inch is more than 800 PPI. The scatter of rods and cones in our retina. Our eye has a retina, and it has two kinds of cells. One is called rods and the other is called cones. And the scatter of that is about 221 per inch, which means our screens now overload our retina as we are using the phone. So depending on what you use your phone for, retina gets really overloaded with impulses, and the pixel impulse is the strongest impulse man has created over the retina. Our sunlight, which God created, has a scatter of 221 photons per inch, because the same one who created sunlight created the retina. Shall we vote on that? Shall we say that together? The same one who created sunlight created the retina. So when we are studying with sunlight, that's the best way we remember. So do as much studies as possible while sun is still there. Then of course we have to use lights. LED lights will have the same pixel effect on your retina, on your brain, and on your sleeping pattern. So normally in my lectures I tell children, try to have CFL warm glow where you study. Understood that language or not? You get that CFL bulb with warm glow? Because if you are studying with LED lights, the same effect of the pixel screen is affected by the LED lights. Am I too technical and too difficult to understand? So what you have to take home is, don't study under LED light is possible. At least at your desk, keep a CFL warm glow bulb. That's possible, isn't it? Most homes have LED lights in the roof, but where you study, try to get your parents to keep a CFL warm glow bulb. With the LED light playing pixels on your retina and on your brain, you will remember less what you study. And if you study for, say, our brain is designed by God our Father to study for 40 minutes when you are in grade 8. When you are about 8 years old. So from about grade 4 or 5, you can have a study span of 40 minutes. That's why a school period is how much? How much? 40 minutes, because that's your attention span. More you are on the screen, playing games and other stuff, your attention span comes down. You can't concentrate for a long time. So you can't study in one place for 40 minutes. You'll feel jittery and you will want to do other things. Already some of you may be like that you can't study at a stretch for 40 minutes. Even in your school 40 minutes, you want to do other things, and a teacher might have to say, sit down, don't disturb. Does that happen in your class? Sit down, don't disturb, don't be jittery. Because the pixel screen works on your brains to make you jittery, unable to concentrate for that stretch of time. So your brilliance, even if you are born with a brilliant IQ, you have to practice your brilliance and keep your attention span for 40-minute duration to be able to read something for 40 minutes, absorbing that. So there's attention span and there's attention depth. How much you can absorb of your studies deeply enough. If not, you are listening to the teacher or reading the subject, but you don't understand. Give me a wave if you understood that. You are reading, you are listening, but you are not absorbing with the depth necessary to understand the subject. Third thing is your absorption intensity during study, how much you can absorb for that 20 minutes, 40-minute period will all go down if you are spending too much time on the pixel screen. Did you understand these things? Shall we give a wave to that you understood this? Okay. So this is the science of it. Then you will become jittery and hyperactive. You will also become impulsive. In Sinhala there's a saying, Paninta pera sitha balanu. How many of you still know Sinhala? Good. Sorry, my Tamil is konyang, you know. My Tamil is a doctor's Tamil, Kachali Rikrada, Tale Vali Rikrada, you know, Kaino, you know, that kind. That is asking questions from patients. Yeah. You have to keep your study concentration, the span, the depth, the intensity. That's what makes your brain brilliant. Shall we have the next slide? 5 laws. There's no way to, I can't see that, yeah. 5 laws. Never give smartphones or pixel screen to kids under the age of 3. So you know that most of the time parents find it easy to give the screen. Then the little fellow gets digitized. The screen is smart, kolla gets stupid. That's what happens. More you are on the screen when you are younger, playing games, and you are not using your fingers and toes. Our brain wires for brilliance when we use our fingers and toes in very young age. So when you are toddling along, when you are scratching things, when you are using clay, puzzles, all those activities wire your brain for brilliance. That's why those are Montessori activities. That's why we have a playpen and you put things like that. So at every age, you must have activities where you use your fingers and toes. So cricket, walking on sand, some gardening, all that is necessary activity to keep your brain bright and brilliant and brain wiring for studies. More you are on the screen, less you use your fingers. Even when you are studying online, you must write down notes. Writing down notes improves memory, recall, and wires brain more for studying. Did you understand that? So all your notes, though you are studying online, Write down notes with a pen on a paper. That's what makes you to remember. If you study only online, you will not remember. I guarantee you that. Shall we give a dismal wave? What to do, this is the science. Whom to tell? I repeat, if you study only online listening, you will not remember. What you are listening, you have to write down. Then, if while students say, they tell their parents, when I am listening to music, I can sit in one place longer. How many of you have thought like that? That is true. When you are listening to music, you can sit in one place longer, but you will not study better. Music goes into our temporal lobe. That's here. We do our studies from our prefrontal lobe. That is here. So, while you are with your earphones listening to music and studying, you are deceiving yourself. You will not remember anything. You will only remember the music and the lyrics of that song. You will not remember what you studied. Shall we vote with our foot for that? Bad news, isn't it? But this is true news. So my plea is, don't listen to music when you are studying. Every bit of listening to music wires up your temporal lobe for imagination and fantasy, whereas you have to study with your brain, with your prefrontal cortex. Okay? Shall we give a akamati wave on it? I don't like what this chap is saying. Yeah, but what to do? Yeah. None of us like to take medicine, isn't it? There'll be something wrong if you like to take medicine. But with some sicknesses, you have to take medicine. Yeah. So this is like medicine. So put a bad face as possible and remember this. Yeah. But you have to remember this. Please don't listen to music when you are studying. But if you are into music, I advise parents to get children early into music. Playing stringed instruments by yourself and singing makes brain brilliant. That is, you're playing the instrument. Stringed instruments are the best. Keyboards are okay. If you're a macho chap and have a lot of dopamine, release it with your drum. That's okay. But do some other musical instrument also besides the drum. All right? Good news or bad news? Drum is okay, but stringed instruments are better. All right? They will help you to wire your brain tracks better. I dropped my, I'm recording this song, future reference, yeah. All right. So that's about music. Please keep music out of your study time, but playing the instrument and you singing at other times is a good way of getting your brain tracks to be wired. So flute, guitar, violin, even keyboards is fine. Those things will make brain brighter. So I said under the age of 3, don't give smartphones. Second one is no screen during feeding time, particularly relevant for all ages really. Your eating time is a brain correlation time for your brain neurochemistry. So when you are eating, we have to tell Dad also to sit down with his smartphone. Everybody sit down for dinner together. That's an important thing. And we have a strong division of labor. Ladies cook and men eat. Shall we vote for that? Or you want to cook? Please don't, because we want to eat. So at least your dinner, take it together. Weekend, all 3 meals, take it together as a family. Anyway, eating time is a brain collation, brain rehab time. In eating, at that time, your oxytocin works well, which is for Bonhamian communication. And then your GABA is the empathy neurochemical transmitter. It has a big name, gamma aminobutyric acid. Now you know why doctors look glum, because blokes have to remember all these hard names. Any of you who wants to become a doctor here? I'm trying to encourage you to become one. Anyone wants to become a doctor here? Very good, yes. Anyone wants to become a teacher? Very good. Anyone wants to become an engineer? Very good. Anyone wants to become a nurse? No. Anyone wants to become the Commissioner General of Prison? Yeah. How we get to do what we do is the way our brain gets wired. We will get to that. There are 7 brain tracks. Depending on how they get wired, we begin to feel an inclination, a propensity towards the subjects we have to do. With O-level and after A-level, more choices come, isn't it? Up to about O-level, you keep doing whatever is there to do. Choices are sort of made for you. But after O-level exam, there are streams you can decide and get into. You have to decide carefully after O-level, which means by O-level you have to have good results. If not, you will say, "Me rata hariyanne naha, api wena ratakata arinna." That's the common thing about if you do the O-level badly, you feel your parents must sell a house and send you somewhere else. What makes you think if you are not successful in your O-level here, you are going to be successful in anything anywhere else? Logic? Logic? So when you are doing your O-level, please do your best, because there's a good report in you. By the time you are 15, 16, I can do. And I can do better and better. You believe what your inside speaks to you. That's what you best believe. That's the long-lasting belief, what your own inside speaks to you. So O-level has become a bit of a litmus test, a test on time. Do it well. And my suggestion is every child has an ability to get 3 A's depending on the subjects you like. Some nuts like me like mathematics. Not everybody. So we know 9 times 9 is 81, 10 times 10 of course is 100, everybody knows that. 11 times 11 is 121, 12 times 12 is 144, 13 times 13 is 169. It's easier than eating pizza, isn't it? But everybody is not like that. Some people may like science. But every student could like art, music, craft, technical stuff, drama. Did you understand? So when you are doing your O-level, God is fair. To every student, He has given the ability to get 3 A's in the subject you like. Can we have a vote on that? So do your best at that time. Then you have a good report from inside you, wanting to do your best for future activities. What did I say in that second thing? No screen during feed time. Digital games, fast digital games after 6 p.m. are the most disturbing, because at 6 p.m. your nighttime bioclocks get into function. That's how God has made our brain. Nighttime bioclocks start with a thing called melatonin, secreted in the brain by a small organ called the pineal body. So melatonin works through the evening and the night, and then you must have good sleep. To have good sleep, you must go to sleep at least by 11:30. Then within 2 hours, you start dreaming. Dream sleep is called rapid eye movement. Non-dream sleep is called NREM, no rapid eye movement. So initially you begin to see not so nice dreams, you know. You're in a maths class kind of dreams, and teacher is asking questions. Like how much, nasty questions like how much is 2 times 2? So those are bad dreams, isn't it? But through the night you have about 3 to 4 cycles of dream. Latter dreams are nice dreams. Like in church, they are announcing you are going to get pizza every Sunday. Do you have faith for that? But you pay for it. So when you are waking up, you should have seen a good dream. That means your sleep time is restorative. Melatonin has done its work. Melatonin also has other things to do, get your brain cells back into refurbishment. All the extra neurochemical transmitters that have been working through the day comes to normal. So you wake up in the morning feeling refreshed, remembering well, and you're ready for the day. But if you take your digital gadget to your room and start playing with the digital gadget in the night and not fall asleep, and you're, I'm saying this because often parents come with students to meet me, and some fellows are hugging their laptop and going to sleep. So they wake up feeling foul, can't remember, angry, saying everything is stupid. School is stupid, book is stupid, parents are stupid. Do you use that language, the stupid language? I am saying the language that is repeatable. That's much worse words than stupid. So your anger about what you couldn't do comes up early morning. So my plea is keep your sleep time well, because good sleep time equals brain brilliance and good performance. Did you understand that? So shall we vote for a good sleep time? Yeah. Protect your sleep time, which means after 6 p.m. don't get into fast digital activity. Yes, online studies, yes. And while studying online, don't look at the screen as much as possible unless you have to look at a graphic. While you are studying online, take down notes without looking at the screen. But some sessions may have graphics online that you have to study. Get my point? So that you are avoiding the pixel input into your retina, so that your memory and recall will not be affected by too much online viewing. Yeah. What's the next one? That's about melatonin. Take a break after 25 minutes of screen by squeezing on fingers. Never cartoons, and reduce the LED light intensity around you, at least where you're studying. Then I'm suggesting your home screen, don't increase it to 8K and 4K. You'll have to talk to your parents about it. If the television is on in the house, the blue light travels everywhere, and that affects your sleep and your memory, whether you watch the program or not. That's the scientific fact. What did I say? If the television is on, even if you are not watching the television, the blue light frequency is everywhere. That's what comes out of the LED screen. That will affect your sleep, your memory, and recall. That's the fact. So keeping the television on all the time is a foolish thing for homes where kids are studying. Take a break, keep attention span for 45 minutes, do not multitask with social media during this time. Yes. Next, please write down some questions. I will stop in a little while. Digital stimulant effect has 5 components. How long you're on the screen, how high the PPI, what time of the day. I already told you, after 6 o'clock. 6 p.m., the pixel effect on the brain is greater. If there are other LED lights interacting in the same place along with your screen, then your brain will be affected more. And if you are listening to fast music through digital screen, that will have a greater effect on your retina and memory time. Next slide. Yeah, next one. That's a neuron. That's how you spend your hour. You think, plan and do with dopamine for 45 minutes, dopamine must come down. Then automatically God has put a system in us, it's called the default mode network of thought. You think back and see, did I do it right? How do I improve it? So our brain speaks for improvement. So we tell parents also, when you are checking up with your kids, don't talk down, speak for improvement, because that's how God has designed our brain. And that improvement suggestions comes with a thing called serotonin. Some call it the happy hormone. Serotonin is a neurochemical transmitter that works in the brain. That what makes you, after studies, to think back and see, how do I improve, what do I do more. That's how it goes on. If you are on the screen longer with fast activity, dopamine doesn't come down, it keeps going up. Then you are dopamine high. Not only that, dopamine has two receptors that work in the brain. One is the physiological receptor, which works and lets go. Other is the addictive receptor, which is working all the time. So your brain does a shift when dopamine DA2 receptors are involved. The shift is this. Shift is this, that you want to do the same thing you did again and again. And you will become impulsive. I told you in Sinhala we used to say, Paninta pera sita balanu, but you get into your thing, sitannata pera panala balamu. So you move into a brain tract that is triggered for risk, peril, fear, flight, fright and flight. You are into that kind of activity to get into trouble and create trouble. Because dopamine is now saying, do this, do that. Then you become the center of attention in the class or amongst your friends by creating trouble and getting people to get into trouble. Have you met people like that? Have you met people like that? No, I'm not asking whether one is here. I'm asking whether have you met people like that. So I have described to you, when you are dopamine high, what it will be doing. It will be always suggesting alarm, trouble, peril, risk. And this risk will involve, because dopamine is addictive, it will push you to gambling, internet gambling. I met with young fellows who have used their father's credit card without the father knowing to get into internet gambling. You'll get into pornography. You'll get into substance abuse also, because the problem starts with being dopamine high. So you will first do the things you can do with digital games to keep yourself dopamine intense, but after a while you will begin to feel screen dopamine is not enough. Did you understand that? So then you have to get into substance that will act like dopamine. So the dopamine effect is called electronic cocaine, because the pixel screen, when it's stimulating the brain, it acts like cocaine. But when the screen-induced cocaine effect is not enough, you look for cocaine, crystal meth and other substances from outside. So as you know, every school has shops around the school that sells drugs and drug-flavored toffees. Every school has. And all schools, after the interval, young kids behave differently, because they steal themselves out during the interval to take the drug and come back. How is your school? How is your school? How are your friends? And most schools have a student who sells the father's drugs in the school. From grade 8 upwards, most schools have drug-pushing kids. How is your school? Yeah. Next slide. I explained to you. These are the two tracks in your brain. Track number 1 is how you think and do and study, or think and do and work. As you can see, it is from the prefrontal cortex. It's called top-down regulation. It is executive, empathic, good for me, good for my future. It is creative. It is you initiate, you navigate, you want to work to a successful end conclusion, and you feel the reward of it, and you say, well done. Inside you, there's a reward motive for the next hour. If you get into the digitalized risk track, it is called bottom-up regulation. That's number 2. It works from the bottom of the brain. There's a thing called the amygdala, and the amygdala remembers the risky things, the bitter things, the dangerous things, the painful things. What does the amygdala remember? Risky things, dangerous things, bitter things, and painful things. So if a child is receiving pain all the time by condemnation or whatever it is, then the child moves into that survival trap. It's a survival trap. If you start slipping on a banana skin, you quickly adjust yourself without thinking too much. So kids who are digitized begin to behave as if they are all the time on a slip. They are into peril and risk. So they can't study. What they study will not remain. They'll always create experience to keep themselves dopamine fed in their brain. And as I said, when that's not enough, they go for substance abuse from other drugs. Yeah. Next one. This is our empathic therapy center. We use grips and ropes. It's a calisthenics gym. It's about 3,600 square feet. We also have a outdoor center in Pamdunga Majayala. It's a 5-acre campus with mangrove jungles. So when schools and other youth teams come for a day out, because if you take about 8 hours in physical activity, there are actual thrills that you go through. The brain dopamine adjusts itself and you get a detox. It needs about 6 to 7 hours. And so our outdoor center there is designed, it's a challenge course, to take young fellows through with coaches. One section is grips and ropes like that, it's a challenge course. Next section is to go through the mud, looking for, it's a Jurassic Park, looking for the dinosaurs. Like that we have separate sections, and another section is where King Crocodile has abducted the princess, and the king has said, if you recover my daughter, I'll give you gold for the weight of an elephant and also my daughter in marriage. So there are boats, you have to pedal through water, life jackets, and fellows tumble into the mud and different things. You have to build the boats with barrels and planks and rope. So the team that builds a good boat and gets to the princess first and comes out victorious. Some fellows don't build the boat well, so that the boat scrambles and comes apart and they get into the mud and they become very muddy. And you come to the king and said, here's your daughter, we have recovered. You can, princess is of course a doll, and you can keep your daughter but give us the gold. That's old Sri Lankan usage where kings used to say that, because they had enough gold in Sri Lanka those days. Did you know that? Sri Lanka had a gold coast. Have you heard Sri Lanka had a king called Ravana? And Ravana had a gold bed, completely made out of gold. Yeah. Better learn some things of this nature also, isn't it? We are still in Sri Lanka. Yeah. All right. We went to a school that taught all this. Your Dan uncle also went to the same school. We think it's the best school in the world, but you don't have to agree with it. Everybody has kings in their head, isn't it? Yeah. So one more graphic thing I have. Just see whether it will come up. No. That's right. Those are 7 slides. The brain has become funny. My original was not like that. There's supposed to be a brain. Can you read the 7 tracks? What's the first track? Yes? Empathic, intuitive. So these tracks are wiring and getting ready for action from the time you're in the mother's womb. So we encourage mothers to speak to the child. Child understands, child bonds while in the womb. We encourage father also to speak to the child enduringly while in the womb. How long do you spend in your mother's womb? 40 weeks. From about the 12th week, you begin to perceive a lot, and bonding must happen while in the mother's womb. A lot of things affects that bonding and brain tracks. Now doctors know that even paracetamol, that is Panadol, which we used to think is a very safe analgesic, should not be given to pregnant mothers. That it affects the child's brain. The drug compound gets into it's called acetaminophen is the proper name, gets into the little fellow's brain, and he will behave like ADHD, autism, depending on what chemicals got into the little fellow's brain. That you don't have to worry about. So that's how important the tracks be made in the mother's womb. Mother praying, mother listening to good music like Amazing Grace. Mothers, when pregnant, must not listen to jingity jingity jing jing jing, jingity jingity jing jing jing. That fellow thinks it's persecution. If you listen to fast, rapid music, inside his brain, prostaglandins that sets him up for risk protection works in his brain. So from the day he is born, he's acting as if he has gone through risk in the mother's womb, because mother was all the time on the smartphone, not thinking about him, but thinking and listening to all kinds of music. So if you meet a mother like that with the smartphone while breastfeeding and while pregnant, tell that mother, expert came and said that remove the smartphone just the way they remove the smartphone today from you. But you say that, yeah. This is of course science. So that's about that. Empathic, intuitive is how a child has begun to think about yourself in your inside. You must have a good assessment, good hope, good potential thinking about yourself. Did you understand this? If you live with the screen, you are not thinking your thoughts, you are thinking the thoughts of influences on the screen. Give me a wave on this. They are not your thoughts, someone else is feeding you, and most of the time it could be rubbish. So you be the influencer of your life. You speak to yourself, you read. I can send you, at least those who are O-level and above, I'll send you some clips to listen to. Send me a WhatsApp to 074, because this needs continual training. Today you are made aware, but the draw of the phone is so strong. My WhatsApp is 074 211 5011. Just say you are in the class. Please send me the first clip, which will give a summary of this and a little more. Second track in the brain is what? Empathic, relational. How you have begun to relate to others. Sometimes some people are very strongly empathic, intuitive. They think in their inside. They want to be quiet. They want to be by themselves. So parents must not drag those children outside saying, uncle has come, aunt has come, what is the meaning of this? You must not say things like that, because that child is empathic, intuitive. Of course, all children must have some relationality. So some children are very talkative, they behave like Vimal Vijay Veera all the time. You know the fellow? You don't know the fellow. Who might you know? Some are born preachers, isn't it? They're talking all the time. They're talking with their head, their hair, their eyes, their ears, their hands, and very relational kind. And they want to be monitor of the class and so on. That's okay. So some children are very relational. Some children are quieter. We recognize both. Parents must recognize both. Third one is, what's the third track? Linguistic track. That's where you absorb languages. That's why when you're in the language absorbing time, you must not be on the screen. If you're on the screen very young, under the age of 5, your phonemes and language will not form. For language formation, finger and toe activity is very necessary. That's why you're given clay molding and this, that and the other. Anyway, 1/3 of the kids who come to me, usually parents bring them when they are 7, 8 years old, come because they have language problems. Initially, you talk like a parrot what you hear. But if you have not read for yourself, if you have not done handwriting, crayons, artwork and so on, you can't form language. That problem comes up at about the age of 7. You can no more speak what you heard others speak. Then they want to say it, they can't say it. Then they go to speech therapists and they are very upset that, so I insist that parents, father and mother comes. Usually father is a dodger when there are problems. So he tries not to come when there's a problem. But my secretary insists that if the child is to be seen, parents both must come. So father sits here, the son or daughter sits here, mom sits here, and mom is very keen to tell me the problem. But I ask the problem from the father. So I ask the father, what's your child's favorite subject? That's my first question often. Then the father slowly, helplessly, fearfully turns towards the mother, but he doesn't know. So my first 10 to 15 minutes goes for tuition for the father. So he begins to realize when a son or daughter has a problem, who must own the problem? Father. He'll be there when the fellow is playing well at cricket, when he's getting a trophy at the prize giving or sports meet, he wants to be there. But we have to tell fathers, when a child is showing up a problem, you have to be there. You have to own it. Mother makes it daily safe. Father keeps the step, stretch and the boundary. That's how it is. Most of you will take at least 20 years to become a father, so don't take this tuition too hard. But this is part of my talk, why fathers should be engaged. Most of you are thinking, fathers should be listening then. Get the fellows one day and we'll tell them. Attract them with some pizza or something like that. Don't tell them I'm going to tell all this, but they need to hear this. Third one is language. More you write, more you read, the better your language formation be. Being bright in language makes you brilliant in all other subjects. Let's say together, being bright in your language, being bright in your language, hopefully 2 languages. Learn 2 languages equally, maximum potential of your brain comes. That's science. Either Sinhala and English or Tamil and English, or we are in a blessed country because we often speak 2 languages easily, isn't it? Keep 2 languages going lifelong, you don't get Alzheimer also. Yeah, that's just by the way. So that's the third track. Fourth track is the logical mathematical track. You all must have a planned timetable for the day. Every day I advise dad to sit with son or daughter, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. what the timetable would be. It may be the same thing, but it teaches time management. When you manage your time well with good dividends, you have good dividends in life. If you don't know what you will do from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m., you become a very low performing, low earning chappie. Did you understand that? Deploy, invest every hour fruitfully, productively, then you will become a high income earner. Amen? Why do we say amen and not amen? Because we sing hymns and not hers. That's why. So these are the the study tracks, education tracks. Then we have 3 other tracks spread out over other parts of the brain. These tracks are in the prefrontal cortex like that. When you move on to the temporal lobe, you have kinesthetic tracks. Some children move around all the time. Some children stay put in one place. If you are too much on the digital screen, you'll be so high in kinesthesia, you can't sit still for 20 minutes. That's not good, isn't it? That's what the digital screen will do. You will want to move around, because inside kinesthesia needs outside expression of moving around, feeling jittery. Then it becomes a problem. You can't sit at one thing. So don't go that way. Similarly, the digital screen will increase your acoustics haywire, and your visual kinesthesia also will go up. So screen is necessary for necessary work. Too much of it will affect your brain formation. That's about it. What do we do next day? Pardon?